Hello everybody. As you can probably tell just by the scene here, today's video is another unboxing. Someone very cool has sent me a box of very cool stuff, I assume, for me to unbox. Now, a lot of gifts I've received from people before have been from people that I know that maybe you don't know, but everybody knows the person who sent me this package, or at least they ought to know him. This was sent to me by VWestlife, someone who I've been glad to have as a friend and a friend of the channel for pretty much the entire 16 years that I've been on YouTube. And this all started when he found something at a thrift store that turned out to be something that I needed, or at the very least could find very useful for an upcoming YouTube video, and he offered to send it to me. And then I learned that while he was sending that to me, he was going to throw in some other stuff as well. So we're going to unbox this and see what he sent me. Now, as you can already tell, I've gotten a head start on you. I've already torn the box open, and that's because he sent it to my American post office box, and I had to import this into Canada. So I had to open it to examine the contents. So I've seen some of the stuff he's thrown in here. I haven't seen all of it. So at least some of this stuff is still going to be a surprise for me as it is for you. So let's begin and see what VWestlife sent me. I appreciate it very much. It probably doesn't need to be said. This is very, very kind. And the first thing I notice is that he actually wrote me a letter, and I did skim this letter a little bit. I haven't read it in full, so let's read it here. It's on very odd paper, and I think he talks about the paper. The paper actually very faintly says on it, Mead erasable. Mead being the manufacturer of the paper, I assume. He wrote, "Dear Flo, in addition to the Hayes Smart Modem power supply," that's what I knew that I was getting, "we discussed, please find several other items I hope you will find useful, informative, or at least entertaining. Thank you for your friendship over the years and all of the great videos you produce." Oh, thank you. By the way, I'm typing this on an IBM Wheelwriter 10 Series 2 typewriter on erasable bond typing paper, which is what this is, apparently. It almost feels like parchment paper that you'd use for like an oven. Sincerely, Kevin, VWestlife, New Jersey, USA. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that very much. And I'll give you a close-up look here of what that looks like in this very unique paper. Oh, it's very nice. I'm going to have to put this away safely somewhere in a file box. So, he mentioned the one thing, which was this. It is the power supply for a Hayes Smart Modem. And this is actually very cool to have because, and I'm doing a little bit of a spoiler here, although I already made a post on the community section of the YouTube channel, is that I procured a Hayes Smart Modem fairly recently, and it's going to be the subject of quite a big video detailing the history of it and why it was important and all that stuff. And Hayes Smart Modems use this very strange 3-pin connector that I obviously did not have an existing power supply for, and the Smart Modem that I got didn't come with a power supply. I've actually presently took a soldering iron to it, and I actually removed the weird power connector and I soldered on a standard barrel jack. I did keep the original power connector, so I'll be able to reverse that modification I did and use it with its proper power supply, which is great. So yeah, he found this in a thrift store and knew that I had a smart modem and yeah, offered to send me this. So that's fantastic. Thank you. And as for the other stuff, I've seen some of it, but I haven't seen all of it. So right on top here, I had a good laugh when I saw this. So it's a VHS tape that he actually digitized, and you can watch it on his channel. I will put a card for it up on the screen. And it's a 1985 video from this company who made a product called Fuel Tac, which was a fuel consumption meter for tractor trailers. The same kind of stuff you see on like U-Haul trucks and stuff. It's a very short, like 10 or 15 minute tape. It says 10 minutes on here. But I had a good laugh because what I forgot about this, and this is probably the reason he sent it to me, is the name of the company is FlowScan. And I'm almost certain that that's why he sent this to me. So this is very cool. And I don't think he ever showed the case for the tape itself in that video. So this might be the first time that anybody who saw that video is actually seeing what the case is. FlowScan Instrument Company. And the tape itself, very like hokey homemade style labeling going on here. This was obviously a very small company, at least I assume. But there you go. So there's that. That'll be a funny addition to my VHS collection. I suppose I'll dig this out whenever I have a VHS VCR to test on video. And I have several actually to make videos of someday that you haven't seen. So what's next? We have a CDR. It's a CompUSA brand CDR, which is pretty cool. 16x speed, 850 megabytes. And it came out of a 16 pack apparently. CompUSA, high capacity 16x CDR. Records up to 99 minutes with some writers. Keyword there being some. How old is this? There's no year on it. It's got a SKU number. Yeah, CompUSA. I don't know, just going by the design, it's got to be 2000s. It can't be that terribly old, but yeah, that's very cool. So I'll keep this in the wrapper. I've still got I'm lucky enough to have a good stock of CDRs and even a lot of CDRW discs that my mother bought back in the day to use in our DVD recorder when we stopped using VHS. So this is cool, one to add to the stock if I ever need a CDR. Or maybe if I find something really important that I want to write, that I want to be able to be possibly readable on vintage computers with older CD-ROM drives, I might use this as well, because this is probably a higher quality disc than anything you can get today, even from Verbatim. What else we got? Now here's this thing, and I'm not sure what it is. It's a booklet of, is that, no, I thought it was audio cassettes, but these are actually video 8 cassettes. It's this little library. This is so cool, this little library thing of these vintage Maxell HGXM video 8 cassettes, metal particle video cassette. Wow, these are so cool. Look at that, brand new vintage video 8 cassette. And metal particle, because I believe they made ferric oxide video 8 cassettes too. I think, I might be wrong on that. So if I'm right, then these would have been quite high-end cassettes back in the day. These must be from the 80s, or at least the early 90s. I've never seen video 8 cassettes come in a little album like this. It says Video Family Album. That's very, very cool. Once again, thank you. This is another case of I kind of don't want to open these. I've got a stash of like 40 or 50 8mm cassettes, video 8, high 8, data 8 cassettes, which work great in video 8 and digital 8 camcorders. So yeah, you know, part of me wants to open just one to see what it's like, but you know, they don't look as cool once they've been unwrapped, right? So I don't know, but that's very cool to have. So thank you for that. It's very, very cool. All right, what's next? What's this? Is it a postcard? Oh, Video testimony, video services for the legal profession. And it's got someone's name and address on it, and I don't know if I should show that. It's got an email address, despite the fact that it looks like it's from the, I was going to say the 80s, but I see now, I see the Panasonic Super VHS camcorder that looks just like the one I have from 1996. I also see a 90s looking Sony Trinitron TV. Well, I'll show you this. Here's that. I'm probably going to be too lazy to scan it, but you can see all the cool TV gear in the background there. That's very, very cool. Easton, Pennsylvania, Allentown, Pennsylvania, Reading, Pennsylvania, Doylestown, Pennsylvania. They got a fax number. They got an email address. And if I cover this, because I don't know if I can give away this person's name and address, it's got a stamped date of 1996 on there. So that's a very cool little artifact. And, oh, a DV cassette. My DV cassette. Wow. You know, when I opened this before I imported it to Canada, I saw that there was at least one DV cassette in here, but I did not register, hey dummy, that's your handwriting. This is my tape. This is one of my original DV tapes from way back in the day, 15 years ago, when I started using my first mini DV camcorder. That's so funny, because in 2012, I sent him my broken JVC mini DV camcorder, and he sent me this wonderful Digital 8 camcorder along with another Digital 8 camcorder that I've put dozens, if not hundreds of hours on, that got me through years of YouTube videos. They were fantastic, and I still use them. Actually, in some videos you haven't seen yet, I'm using this Digital 8 camcorder as a second angle, just because my DV camcorder is possibly having some VTR issues. I'm not sure yet. It's having an awful lot of tape dropouts, and I'm not sure if it's just dirty heads or if the mechanism's finally wearing out. That's so funny. I'm just now realizing that this is one of my DV tapes that he sent back to me. That's fantastic. What else? What else do we got? Are you shitting me? I think I've just been rickrolled in the physical realm. I've just been physically rickrolled. And I'm pretty sure that's why he sent this to me. I'm pretty sure he just rickrolled me in the physical realm. Oh, this is a single. It's a cassette single. I've never owned a cassette single. I don't know if I've ever even seen one. That's very cool. So it's just in this little plastic case. And it's only got like, yeah, it's got two tracks on each side. It's got an instrumental version of each song, which is actually kind of cool. It's dated 1987, Pete Waterman Limited, printed in USA. So it's like, there's like 15 or 20 minutes of tape in this cassette. It's a single. I've never owned that. That's actually very cool. Meme content aside, that's kind of neat. Thank you. Huh. God, I've never been rickrolled on video before. What else do we got? Oh! Oh, no way! Is this... I assume this is a Type 4 cassette. I've never owned a Type 4 cassette. How do you open this? How do you open this case? There we go. A Maxell... It says Metal Capsule 100. Yeah, it is. It's a Type 4 metal cassette. Oh, that's cool. Thank you very much. I've never owned... I've had my Iowa 80 F770 cassette deck for 13 years, and I've got a luckily large collection of Type 2 cassettes. I've never owned a Type 4 cassette. And so here, that's a cool looking cassette with the purple. Look at that, that's so cool. Wow, a Type 4 cassette, that's fantastic, thank you. And then I'm seeing right here, this case is weird. And apparently it's got the Rolling Stones on it. Live in Atlantic City, New Jersey, December 19th, 1989. And now I wonder, is this someone's bootleg recording that they made? Or does this exist, like, on the internet that you can listen to? Because I want to make sure that, you know, I obviously would like to use this and try it, but I don't want to record over it if it's someone's bootleg. I'll have to digitize it, of course. Now, here's the issue. And this is the first time I'm admitting this, but this has been the case for about a year now. My Iowa 80F770, I've had it for 13 years. It's been wonderfully reliable. They consider it one of the greatest cassette decks ever made. It's developed a problem. It's got an electronic problem now. It randomly introduces this high-pitched whine into recordings that you make with it. And so I'm not sure what's going on. I think it's the Dolby noise reduction circuitry acting up. And I'm kind of sad because it's been so amazingly reliable ever since I first got it and replaced the belts in it when I was, well, I was a teenager. What was I? I was 17 years old when I got that cassette deck. And it's been so darn reliable and so perfect and beautiful to use. And now it's got this electronic issue. And it's been sitting on my hi-fi stack, and I just haven't used it in like a year because of that. Now I do have 2 more cassette decks. They both, I believe both of them, I know at least one of those other 2 also supports Type 4 cassettes. So I'm still fine, but the Iowa's where it's at, man. I really gotta, I don't know. If I can get to a point where I can have a lot of money saved up again, just because I'm paying for the new car and stuff, I would almost pay like $500 to send that cassette deck off to someone to have it repaired. It's just one of my most cherished vintage electronic things. I might open it up and try recapping it and see what that problem is. It's so complicated inside. It's a hellish mess of wires and daughter boards and components, and I'm just scared of making something worse if I open it and try to recap it. But that might be where I'll start, because it's, you know, I can't use it to make recordings anymore. So I may try and recap it someday, or I may just wait and send it off to someone I trust to work on it. But I've got 2 other cassette decks that I think both support metal cassettes. Although one of those other 2 I may have to procure an alignment cassette for, because I think it might be out of alignment. Anyway, all that to say that it's really cool to have this, and I look forward to trying it out. Now I'm also seeing here, we have a very old Scotch, I assume this is a Type 3 cassette. It's called a Master 3, 60-minute cassette, ferrochrome, premium quality. So Type 3 was a very old cassette type that is, I don't think it was like Type 3 cassette support was included on cassette decks after like the 70s. And I think it was maybe Sony who supported it the most, I forget. None of the cassette decks I have support Type 3, but there is a cassette type that you can use that's good enough. And I think you still get a little bit of quality improvement over a Type 1 cassette. I forget if you set the cassette deck to Type 1 or if you set it to Type 2. But yeah, Type 3, a really old way of getting improved sound quality on cassettes. So this is very cool. Oh, that's a cool looking tape. It's got this kind of frosted semi-translucent plastic. And the sticker on it looks cool. Got the embossed Scotch logo. That's very cool. And I'll have to see what's recorded on it too. Very, very neat. Oh, it does have stuff written on the insert here. I don't recognize any of these songs. Oh, Olivia Newton-John. Okay, cool. Very, very cool. What else? And, oh, this is my other original DV cassette that I got when I was like 12, 13 years old. Oh, that's so funny that I have these back. I don't know if I'll ever be able to use these again. They might be just too worn out to use now. When I look at the cassette, I can see wrinkling on the cassette. So these might actually just be garbage. But it's funny though, because when I sent these to him, he actually harvested some of the video off them. There was raw video of me running a mercury vapor lamp on a fluorescent lamp ballast. It was like the first time I ever tested running a mercury vapor lamp on a fluorescent lamp ballast, and I recorded it, and that was on one of these tapes when I sent them to him, and he transferred that footage over and uploaded it on one of his spare channels as lost footage, which I thought was kind of cute. That's funny. And now we have a book, which he told me would be here because I had to ask him what was in the package just for me to import it. This is very cool. Patrick, my boss, would like this. I'll have to show this to him. Video Field Production by Ron Whitaker. And I'm not sure why I know that name. Maybe I should know that name for a very specific reason. This is very cool. Mayfield Publishing Company. What's the date on this? Someone stamped 1990 on here, and a price of $34.95. My goodness, this was an expensive book. Maybe it's a textbook. I bet this is maybe a textbook that was used in a university, maybe. 1989 is the copyright date. This is very cool. And it's got chapters on, like chapter 2, the mysteries of luminance and chrominance. So all the stuff about analog video that today we don't have to know about. But back in the day, it was essential knowledge. Audio, videotape recording, videotape versus film. I like that there's a chapter on that. Solid state recording, it had a chapter on that. That's pretty cool. Satellite, microwave, and optical fiber links. Electronic news gathering. Principles of editing. Oh, this is cool. Sadly, I loved reading as a kid. I don't really read anymore. My weird brain, I can't focus enough to really read anymore. I did attempt to read a book a couple of years ago. I got about halfway through it and then I stopped. So this might be cool just to skim through though, even if I don't have the attention span that I need anymore to read a book in full. This is very, very cool. Thank you again. Now, there's one more thing in this package, but it's not here, which means I accidentally took it out to look at it and then didn't put it back in the box. So let me get that. I'm back, and I've got a lamp with me here because the final item is a light bulb. It is a vintage incandescent light bulb. It's called a Chromolux color corrected long life lamp A19 Lumaram Electric Corporation, made in France. A French incandescent light bulb. Is there a date on it? Chromolux color corrected lamps are made with pure neodymium, a rare earth element used in space age technology. Okay, so first of all, very flowery advertisement there. I wasn't sure originally if this was going to be a neodymium lamp or if it was a real daylight lamp. The pink on the box says neodymium, but when we look at the bulb itself, because I cheated and I've already looked at it, it looks blue to the eye, which neodymium bulbs do. Although actually under this fluorescent light, there's actually a bit of a pink tinge to it. So it's definitely neodymium glass. But so this is very cool. So I didn't know if it was going to be neodymium or if it was going to be daylight lamp. I don't really use neodymium lamps just because of the very warm color, but this is very, very cool. Actually, I do have a neodymium lamp in my bedside lamp because of the warm color, better for when you're going to sleep. So this will probably be in line to go in that lamp maybe someday. But on the box it says, the Chromolux bulb has its origin in Finland, land of the midnight sun where light must be sustained in almost total darkness for a few months of the year. Extensive research and testing there resulted in the design of this unique light source which closely simulates natural daylight. There's no way in hell that's true because neodymium coatings make the light even redder, not bluer. By increasing black and white contrast, Chromolux improves readability, reduces eye stress, and allows optimum visual comfort. Chromolux restores purity and freshness to colors of objects and surroundings. Chromolux creates a pleasing, colorful, and relaxing environment that enhances people's sense of well-being. A must for home or the office, fits right into your existing fixtures. Copyright 1992. So this is pretty old indeed. It's 60 watts, 115 or 125 volts. Average 3,500 hours, so it's a very long life bulb, which means combine that with the neodymium coating, this should be a very warm light. But let's take a look. Wow, that is very warm indeed. Let me turn the overhead light off. I'll actually turn my spotlight off as well. And that is a very, very warm light. That's very cool. Yeah, this would be good for my bedside lamp. Very, very neat. And if I haven't already made it too hot to touch, I'll show you the etch on the bulb. The etch is on near the base. See if I can get you to. No, I think the front camera on my phone won't focus that close. But it says Lumaram Corp. 60 watts, 115 to 125 volts. Wow, that is very, very cool. And with that, we're done. There it all is together. Thank you, Kevin. That's very, very kind of you. That's a lot of really neat stuff, and I'll still have to figure out how I'm going to use some of it, or if I'm going to use some of it, just because some of it's like, you know, brand new old stock stuff that I might necessarily not want to open. But oh, this is great. And yeah, I got the weird Hayes power supply, so I don't have to pay 30 bucks or whatever on eBay for one of them, especially because I plan on buying at least one more Hayes smart modem someday. But that's very, very kind. Thank you so much. Thank you even for the Rickroll, even if it was definitely a deliberate physical Rickroll. But yeah, thank you. That's very kind. And thank all of you for watching this unboxing. And I hope to see you in the next video.